Sir Isaac Brock, A Calm Night Story, Part 1. The wind moves softly across the wide waters of Lake Ontario, carrying the quiet sounds of night. Stars shimmered above, like small lanterns hung in the sky. In the gentle glow of the moon stood a tall figure, calm and steady, Sir Isaac Brock. People would one day call him a hero, but on nights like this, he didn't feel like one. He simply watched over the land he cared for, breathing in the cool, peaceful air of Upper Canada. Brock had always liked the quiet moments. They gave him time to think about the soldiers who looked up to him, about the families who lived in the small towns nearby, and about how much he wanted to keep everyone safe. A soft rustling came from behind him. It was his trusted friend and aide, Macdonnell. "All is calm tonight, sir," Macdonnell said with a small smile. Brock nodded. "Good. Let them rest. Tomorrow brings new challenges, but tonight we let the land sleep." He walked slowly along the shoreline, the ground soft under his boots. He admired the moonlight dancing across the water. Some nights were filled with worry, but tonight he felt peaceful, almost hopeful. As Brock thought quietly, memories drifted through his mind. A memory of strength. He remembered being a young officer far from home. At first, people thought he was too gentle, too thoughtful, too calm for command. But Brock had learned something important. Strength can be quiet. Courage isn't loud. And leadership begins with care. He carried that lesson into every decision he made. A visit with Tecumseh. Brock's thoughts then shifted to his friendship with the respected Shawnee leader Tecumseh. The two men had met as allies and found in each other a shared determination to protect their homelands. One evening long ago, beneath a sunset sky, Tecumseh had told Brock, "Courage is not the roar of the warrior. It is the steady heart of the one who protects others." Those words stayed with Brock like a warm fire during winter. The land sleeping peacefully. Macdonnell and a few soldiers set up a small camp nearby. Brock didn't need much rest himself. The comfort of knowing people were safe was enough for him. The leaves whispered in the trees, and a loon called softly across the water. Everything felt calm. Brock sat against an old oak tree, one that had watched many seasons past. He removed his hat and looked up at the stars. He wondered how many other people across the land were staring at the same sky, drifting off to sleep. "I hope they all feel this peace," he whispered to himself. He closed his eyes just for a moment, letting the night wash over him like a gentle blanket. A promise in the darkness. Even when the clouds drifted over the stars, Brock knew the light was still there, just hiding for a while. That was how he saw his responsibilities too. Whatever tomorrow brought, he would face with calm courage, not because he sought glory, but because people depended on him. And Isaac Brock never forgot the people. The breeze grew softer. The campfire embers glowed a warm orange. The world felt safe for now. Brock leaned back, breathing steadier, feeling grateful for the quiet night. "Rest," he murmured to the soldiers nearby. "Rest," he told the land himself. And as the moon continued its silent watch above, Sir Isaac Brock, hero, protector, and calm guardian of a sleeping country, finally closed his eyes and let himself drift peacefully into rest. A Calm Night's Story, Part 2. Morning arrived quietly, the first light of dawn stretching across the land like a soft blanket of gold. A thin mist hovered over the grass, and the world seemed to awake slowly, not with noise and hurry, but with gentle breaths and stillness. Sir Isaac Brock stirred beneath the old oak tree. He opened his eyes to the peaceful sight of the sun rising, its warm glow touching the tops of the distant hills. For a moment, he simply admired the calm. He always believed that each day was a new gift, a chance to do good. MacDonnell approached with 2 steaming cups of tea. "Thought you might like something warm to start the morning, sir," he said. Brock smiled and accepted the cup. The warmth felt good in his hands. They stood silently for a while, listening to the birds calling softly to one another through the waking forest. "It will be a busy day," MacDonnell said quietly. "Most days are," Brock replied with a peaceful laugh. "But we face them with steady hearts." A walk through the camp. Brock walked between the small tents where the soldiers still slept. He remembered that these young men were far from home, some missing family, some missing farmland or fishing boats, or quiet evenings by the hearth. Brock made a promise to himself every morning to lead with kindness, to protect with strength. He checked on the horses, spoke gently with the sentries keeping watch, and thanked them for their early duty. Even the smallest gesture, he knew, could lift someone's spirits. A message arrives. A rider approached from the east, his horse's hooves tapping lightly across the ground. He bowed respectfully and handed Brock a sealed letter. Brock opened it carefully. The message explained that a distant settlement needed help, guidance, resources, and a reminder that they were not alone. As Brock read, his calm expression never changed. He simply nodded. "We'll be there," he said. "People must always feel safe." MacDonnell smiled. He already knew those words would come. The journey through the fields. Later that morning, Brock and a small group of soldiers rode out along a soft, winding trail. The fields around them shimmered with dew, and wildflowers swayed gently in the breeze. The distant sound of water flowing reminded everyone how peaceful the land could be. Some soldiers hummed quietly. Others looked around, taking in the relaxing scenery. Brock noticed them smiling, a rare and welcome sight. This is why we protect it, Brock thought, for moments just like this. They passed by farms where families waved. Children ran alongside the horses, laughing and calling out greetings. Brock always slowed down and tipped his hat. He wanted them to know he saw them, each and every one. Kindness as a courage. As the trail led them beneath tall maple trees, MacDonnell rode up beside Brock. "Sir," he said thoughtfully, "people respect you greatly. They say you are brave." Brock looked ahead. watching a pair of birds glide through the air. Courage is not just found in battle, he said softly. It is found in caring for others, even when it is difficult. MacDonnell nodded, feeling the truth in those words. A midday pause. By noon, the sun warmed the earth. Brock called for a rest beneath a cluster of shade trees. Soldiers shared bread, cheese, and stories. Laughter floated through the air like gentle music. It was a moment of peace, exactly the kind Brock had wished for them. Tecumseh's words echoed in Brock's memories again. A steady heart can guide many. He breathed in slowly, feeling grateful for the strong friendships that protected their shared homeland. A gentle evening approaches. As the afternoon faded into early evening, the sky grew soft and pink. Brock knew they were close to the settlement. He felt a quiet pride that they had made the journey calmly and together. The horses slowed. The soldiers looked ahead with relaxed faces. They trusted Brock. His calm guided them like a lighthouse on a peaceful shore. Brock turned to his men. "Tonight you will rest well," he said. "You have already done good simply by being here." The breeze rustled through the trees as if agreeing with him. Night began to settle once again, wrapping the land in silence. The soldiers set up camp, candles flickering like fireflies. Brock gazed towards the horizon, feeling the same peace he had felt the night before. He knew tomorrow would bring its own tasks, but for now the world was calm, and that was enough. With a deep breath, Brock laid down beneath the stars, letting the gentle night carry him towards sleep. A Calm Night Story, Part 3. Morning returned once more, soft and quiet. Dew decorated the grass like tiny pearls. As sunlight slowly touched the tops of the trees, the small settlement ahead awoke with a hopeful stillness. Sir Isaac Brock stood from his resting spot. Brushing light leaves from his coat, he looked peaceful, as though the night had whispered its calm straight into his heart. MacDonnell approached with a relaxed stretch. "Another quiet day," he said. "Another day to do good," Brock replied, smiling softly. A village of gentle hearts. They entered the settlement, where people were already beginning their chores. A baker carried warm bread. A woodcutter stacked logs near a tiny cabin. Children played simple games with sticks and bright imaginations. The villagers gathered when they saw Brock and his small group arrive. They came forward not with fear, but with warm smiles, grateful to know they were remembered and protected. A young girl stepped shyly from behind her mother, holding a single wildflower. She offered it to Brock with a timid hand. "For you," she whispered, "because you help everyone." Brock knelt to accept the flower, his eyes kind. "Thank you," he said. "This means more than you know." He placed the flower carefully in his pocket, treating it like a small treasure. Listening as leadership. Brock spent the day visiting the people, asking questions gently. "How can we support you? What do you need most? And how are your spirits?" He listened to every answer with patience. Some asked for supplies, others asked for reassurance. and a few only needed someone to hear them, and Brock always did. He believed that leadership began with understanding, and understanding began with listening. A moment with the river. In the late afternoon, Brock walked to a nearby river. The water flowed slowly, catching sunlight in ripples like moving stars. He knelt at the bank, dipped his hands into the cool stream, and watched the surface shimmer. It is a peaceful land, he thought. So many rely on this peace. Tecumseh's wisdom returned to him again. When you protect the land, you protect the people. When you protect the people, the land thrives. Brock closed his eyes, letting the sounds of the river guide his breathing into a calm rhythm. The steady heart. As evening drew near, Brock gathered his soldiers for the return trip, but the villagers insisted they stay for supper. A simple meal of bread, roasted vegetables, and berries. Laughter floated through the air. Lanterns glowed softly along the road. Brock looked around at all the peaceful faces, feeling a warm sense of purpose. After the meal, the village elder approached him. "You give us courage," he told him. "Not by raising your voice, but by standing with us." Brock bowed his head, honored by the words. "My courage," he said gently, "comes from the people I serve." A peaceful ride. As the stars returned and the horses began to slowly journey back, Brock felt the calm of the night wrap around him once more. The sky above stretched vast and welcoming, like a blanket made of silver light. MacDonell glanced his way. "Do you ever grow tired, sir?" he asked. "Sometimes," Brock replied thoughtfully. "But when I see my people safe, my heart rests easily." MacDonell nodded. He understood. The guardian of quiet nights. Back at camp, soldiers settled into their tents, voices soft and content. Brock paused beneath the same old oak tree where he had rested 2 nights before. He placed the wildflower from the little girl beside him. He looked up at the stars, bright and ancient, and smiled. The land was peaceful again, not because of battles won or loud displays of power, but because kindness and calm had guided the day. Tonight, the protector rested. He lay back, hands behind his head, listening to the quiet breath of the sleeping land. The wind whispered through the branches. The moon watched over the world, and Sir Isaac Brock closed his eyes, knowing that courage could be quiet and heroism could feel like peace. The night tucked around him like a soft quilt, and with a slow, steady breath, he drifted into a deep and gentle sleep.